If you're looking to buy or sell a home, the point where you need a real estate agent involved is if you need it sold quickly. In the past, before I had my real estate license, I used realtors, but I also used Comfree. I also just did for sale by homeowner. I got a sign at the dollar store and plunked it on my front lawn and I sold my house. I think that there's a lot of people out there who can do that and you don't always have to hire a realtor. But the biggest draw to dealing with a realtor is the exposure, is that they're connected with so many agents, so many buyers and sellers. They're in the market every day and they have access to the MLS system. The MLS system is going to showcase that property to thousands and thousands of people and you will get the most exposure. It might cost you the most with commissions and you'll have to make the place look good and go through that selling process. But from my experience in the past, I found that working with a realtor will get your house sold in the quickest possible time. The first thing that I looked for when I was hiring a realtor was experience, and it depended on what type of property I was buying or selling. So if I was buying a condo, then I'd want to work with a condo specialist. If I was buying an investment property, I'd want to work with someone who has owned or renovated or who has completed a lot of transactions in the investment space. The difference between a real estate agent and a real estate investor: a real estate agent is going to be representing someone who is buying or selling a property. An investor is buying or selling properties for themselves to make a profit on or hold and rent out. And you can have both. You can have a real estate agent who is also an investor. That's how I operate, that I am actively looking for more homes to purchase for my own portfolio while still operating as a real estate agent. When someone has a bad experience with a realtor, you want to work with someone who likes you and cares about you. But at the same time, you want to work with someone who's experienced and who's knowledgeable. But the tough part is that anyone can go and get their real estate license. It's quick and easy, it's some online tests. But what has been taught in the schooling, the manuals, I just feel like there's not enough hands-on doing. The way that I learn is by doing. And so I had to buy and sell enough properties on my own to learn the craft before I could put myself out there as someone who's going to represent your transaction. I've had my bad experiences with realtors. Sometimes the process was too pushy. The realtors were too pushy and pushing me into an area that maybe I didn't want to go in. But how realtors get paid are by a commission by that transaction being closed, which almost creates a conflict of interest in itself. If I'm a realtor and I have to represent you, and the only way I get paid is if you buy the property, well then my interest is to get you to buy a property. I think realtors in the industry just have a bad rep for opening a door and charging a high commission. The real estate that's on HGTV or on those Netflix shows compared to the reality of a real estate agent, I would say they really differ. I feel like on those TV shows, it's all about the appearance or the look of everyone driving their Rolls Royce or wearing their fancy suit. When it comes down to it, a good real estate agent isn't about what kind of clothes they're wearing or what kind of car they drive. A good real estate agent, it comes down to what they know, what their experience is and how they're treating people. What is that emotional process that they're giving to you and your family when you are buying and selling a home? Or are they really taking the time to dive into the market to find the best deal for you as an investor or you as a family? It's a lot of money being thrown around. It needs to be more about the numbers of the transaction, the advice being given, the experience, the knowledge that realtor has. The industry talks all about just making transactions. You're glorified for how many transactions or how much gross commission you make in a year. It shouldn't be about the gross commission, but what if I went out of my way and talked you out of buying a $650,000 home because I just don't think you can afford it right now. I don't think it's a smart move. And I introduce you to this other home that's $400,000 that fits your family perfectly. Well, now I'm getting paid less gross commission for doing something that really helped you. The way the system is set up is that if I'm looking to make money, if I need to provide for my family or I want to be a top agent, then I need to go out there and upsell everyone on a more expensive home. Or why am I negotiating with the sellers to get the lowest price? I'm getting paid more for them to accept a higher price. So who are you working for? That's the hard part that you're gonna have to know for yourself, whether that agent is really in your field or not. Are they really an advocate for your needs, or are they just pushing through a transaction? And you're one poor transaction away from potentially a huge loss. Like, it could really change your future. And the biggest thing that I learned was I have to get in at the right price. I'm thinking back to when I first bought my first home, and I was looking at just the cheapest properties I could find because I wanted what I thought was a deal. And I was looking at condos, and I remember this $98,000. And I was like, under 100 grand, this is unbelievable. We need to jump all over this condo. And I was pointed in a direction of buying a single family home that's more expensive. If I would have bought that condo versus the home that I was pointed in the direction to buy, and there was a special assessment with a condo. 5 years later, depreciated, and it was a 1-bedroom condo, so there was no rental opportunity while I was living there. The home that I did eventually buy appreciated 20% in 5 years. It had 3 bedrooms, and I got to rent out the other 2 bedrooms and generate rental revenue the whole time that I was living there. Like, I'm looking at the difference, and I could have lost $20,000 buying that condo or made $120,000 buying the house. And if I'm just making a purchase on a whim or working with the wrong person who's guiding me in the wrong direction, it can be like detrimental to my future.